Oh, the Little League World Series just around the corner. Kentucky, someone named Parman went way deep. Let's check out this bat flip. This is why baseball sucks right here. Watch this kid's bat flip. Look at that. Boom. Bat flip. But then when he's a grown man, we're like, we don't do that. Respect the game. Bitch. Baseball could be fun, man. It's a cool sport. It's really fun to play. This is interesting to see. Your daily sports podcast, news, narratives, takes, gambling, etc. We have a huge show today, so we're just going to get into it. We're going to start with the Little League World Series, man. It's Hard Knocks preview day. We get into Hard Knocks. Ben Simmons is the man. I love him. Every day I'm like, man, I bet there's some Ben Simmons content I could talk about on the pod. There is. There totally is. Duh. On August 28th in the year of our Lord 2011, that was 11 years ago, 10 years ago, and 350 days. Almost exactly 347 days. Whatever. A young man named Nick was at the plate with 2 outs and the bases loaded in the bottom of the 6th inning with the Little League World Series on the line, representing the state of California against the country of Japan. And this is what happened.
It's 2-0. Scoreboard is not right. Game over. California wins it.
Little League World Series champions. I play that so I don't get DCMA. What? That's Nick Prado. Nick Prado walked off and won the Little League World Series. Flash forward to August 8th in the year of our Lord 2022. Nick Prado of the Kansas City Royals did this.
3-2. Taylor on deck. Hit well, center field. Duran back, still going back. Game over. Nick Prado with the walk-off.
You love to see that, man. How cool is that? I saw that on Twitter, and I thought I would share with you. So it does happen. I know that Chris Drury, Stanley Cup champion with the Colorado Avalanche, and probably the greatest Buffalo Sabre, I would say actually probably the greatest Buffalo Sabre of all time, what he meant to that organization. And he won the Little League World Series, and he won the Stanley Cup. Little League World Series coming up. That's kind of exciting. It's a little weird how into it we get. I don't know if you can or can't bet on it. If you can bet on it, I don't love that. I don't know. It just makes me feel weird. I love gambling on sports, but that makes me feel weird. I don't love it. So what should we do? Should we do basketball first? Should we save the NFL and college football for later? Because there's some college football stuff. Basketball first it is. Colin Cowherd's show made waves yesterday because Aaron Rodgers, quarterback for the Green Bay Packers, went on the famed Barstool Sports podcast, and one of the top 4 or 5 podcasts in the world, and certainly by far the most popular sports podcast in the world. Pardon my take. He had a long sit-down conversation where that was the first place he kind of hinted that he had done ayahuasca, but then they dropped the podcast too late and someone else stole their thunder. Guys, you got to drop that shit right away. And Colin Cowherd talked about it. And Colin Cowherd's show was all the rage yesterday, so that was part of the big deal of Colin's show. So you probably saw a clip yesterday floating around the internet where he talked about the Pardon My Take guys in the interview with Aaron Rodgers. But that's unfortunate because the real clip from Colin Cowherd's show yesterday is this one, where someone named Rick Boucher, I don't follow the NBA that well, Rick Boucher on the herd, and remember, a lot of stuff that happens on Colin's show is bullshit, mostly that comes from Colin. Rick Boucher is an FS1 analyst and a host on The Ball, and he links to his Instagram account. Okay, he said this about Ben Simmons. So we know that Ben Simmons was toxic in Philly, but the Philly fans are tough. Whatever. He gets traded to Brooklyn. You're like, Brooklyn doesn't really have fans. No one cares about the Brooklyn Nets. Remember, it was a big deal that maybe he's got a back thing, he's got his mental health thing, he's getting back in shape. He hasn't practiced in literally like a year because he's just been half-assing it with Philly because he doesn't want to play there like a little child. And when the Nets needed him for Game 3 and 4, everyone was like, man, it's about time for him to come back. This is what happened.
Ben Simmons, they're having a team chat before Game 4, thinking he's going to play against the Boston Celtics.
They're down 3-0.
And from what I'm told, Ben just left the chat. They asked him, are you going to play? Ben left the chat. Like, he didn't even answer the question, just left the chat. And Katie's like, this is what I signed up. Like, this is who I'm playing.
Okay. Caveat. It is entirely possible that Rick Boucher misinterpreted someone saying that Ben left the chat as an idiosyncrasy or an idiom. Like, you know, when the kids will say, "Oh, I left the chat," entered the chat, that means I showed up or I left, in slang speak for Gen Z. Or it's also possible he literally left the chat. Either way, it's bad, because in one hand, Rick Boucher is not interpreting correctly the Gen Z colloquialism of leaving the chat, which means that his teammates think that, like, he didn't give a shit. That's the metaphoric sense. The literal sense is that he was in a group chat and he left the chat. Now, I don't think that's what happened. I don't think he literally left the chat. It's really annoying to leave chats. It takes effort, and Ben doesn't really give effort. Either way, this is insane. That means a teammate in the building told a reporter that Ben left the chat, or Ben literally left the chat. I love him so much. He's amazing. He really is amazing. Now that he's not on the Sixers, which is the team that I support, I'm a big fan of him now that he's not on that team. Okay, let's talk about the Aaron Rodgers Part of My Take interview. One of the things that came out, there are different blogs around the internet, including Pro Football Talk and around the NFL, that are like, hey, why do people just donate money to the Packers front office to own stock on the team? And in the interview with Part of My Take, Aaron Rodgers said, you own a piece of paper with zero actual value. Love that. So he shits on the idea itself. The Packers are amazing. They sell this fake stock that comes with a certificate and I think parking passes, and people buy it. I don't understand. Absolutely amazing that he's able to do this for people. One other thing from the NFL is suspected to emphasize illegal contact penalties. Illegal contact fouls has to do with how defenders defend the pass and receivers, so you can't be like roughing them up more than 5 yards past the line of scrimmage. And so, yay, the defense is going to get screwed again this year. So think about that. Bet the overs. Bet overs. Early in the season, you want to usually bet unders. I'm thinking you want to bet overs now. That's just my general takeaway. Before we get to our Hard Knocks preview, let's go and talk about this thing that's happening in college football. Brent Venables, long time defensive coordinator for Clemson. The P is silent. Remember yesterday we reported that Cal Gundy resigned from the University of Oklahoma. Now, this is all confusing because Oklahoma State is over here and Oklahoma's over there. Oklahoma, the red one. Brent Venables resigned. Cal Gundy resigned. And then Brent Venables put out a statement, and the statement reads as follows. I'm going to read the entire thing just for y'all. Wait, that's not the statement. We got a lot to talk about. Let's find the statement because it's a thing. It's not a good thing for the program. So the University of Oklahoma puts out this statement after Coach Gundy resigns from the program. Okay. Statement reads as follows. As painful as it has been dealing with Coach Gundy resigning from the program, it doesn't touch the experience or pain that felt in a room of young man I am charged to protect, lead, and love. There are a few things I would like to address. That's good. He's addressing it, right? He's addressing it. Now, Oklahoma players and whatnot, they came out to support Gundy, who's been there for a long time. Remember, Venables is the new head coach there after Lincoln Riley leaves for USC. So we got a new head coach. Okay, Coach Gundy resigned from the program because he knows what he did was wrong. He chose to read aloud to his players, not once but multiple times, a racially charged word that is objectionable to everyone and does not reflect the attitude and the values of our university program. This is not acceptable, period. There's a literal period, and then the word period, and then another literal period. Coach Gundy did the right thing in resigning. He knows our goals for excellence, and that is coach's special responsibilities, blah, 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 OU, family, blah. Okay. So then, someone named Kat Gundy, that's at Kat Gundy, that's Cal Gundy's daughter. She looks to be maybe in her 20s. Interesting you told your players to keep their mouths shut about what really happened and their heads down. The truth will always come to fruition. It's only a matter of time. So now people are insinuating that perhaps Coach Gundy was not the only one using racial slurs. See a bunch of things on the internet insinuating like, because there's Clemson had a problem with this also at a certain point. Brett? I wonder. Oklahoma University football is in shambles. Chamblay. Joe Mixon, who is the guy that punched the woman in the face, which is a really highly debatable thing because she was harassing him, and it was that's a debatable situation. He should not have done what he did. However, I don't think that there was legal ramifications because she became physical first. But he is, a freak athlete, and she sustained injuries. So it's a whole thing. But he was suspended for that. He's got that on his record. He became violent when he had an opportunity to de-escalate the situation, and he didn't. He wrote a 5-paragraph response to this. 5 paragraphs. And all the paragraphs, I'll show it to you. It's on the screen. These are thick paragraphs. Coach Gundy is everything OU at any institution would want in a coach, teacher, and mentor. He is caring, thoughtful, intelligent, smart, funny, experienced, philanthropic, humble, and selfless. So this is Joe Mixon, who's at training camp right now as one of the best running backs in the NFL, trying to win a Super Bowl after coming so close last year, has the time and is so motivated that he wrote this whole letter. It takes 2 pages. The last page is just, like the signature. In conclusion, I offer my highest support and admiration for Coach Gundy and will be extremely disappointed at the school program and administrators if he is not allowed to continue as a coach of the university going forward. If he, in anyone's eyes, did anything wrong, missed a comment there, Joe, did anything wrong, then let us know how we give people second chances, how we help all people be better people, and that we teach all to work together. See, I didn't read the conclusion. That was not great. I should have ran that by me, Joe. I'll be available next time. Regardless, this is worth watching. Program's a mess. Lincoln Riley bailed. They got Venables, and now it's a mess. Just an absolute mess. Hard Knocks debuts tonight. Let's listen to Jamal Williams. What's up, Jamal?
Jamal Williams, break it up. Bring it up. I'm going to let y'all know, man. Today is the minimum of effort. Do not give up. Do not feel like you're tired. When you tired, think of last year and think of that record. Every time I get tired or I think I can't go no more, I think of that record. Last year wasn't it. That ain't us. We can make it. Have some heart. I get emotional about this. I'm about to cry. Do your best. Let's go. Lions on 3. 1, 2, 3. Lions.
Jamal Williams is going to be a superstar. If he was better at football, he'd be one of the most famous athletes in the world. Hard Knocks is going to be sick. That's the same guy that told fans and media that the way to get on my good side is to bring me anime. What a man. And it's crazy. He's from the West. He went to BYU. He's a complicated individual. Hard Knocks tonight, Dan Campbell. Here are the narratives you're going to want to watch. Narrative number 1 is that Jared Goff. This is his third time on Hard Knocks since he was drafted in 2016. Third. One time during COVID, they did Hard Knocks in L.A. because, HBO has people in L.A. and it was COVID. It was tough, and there were 2 teams in L.A., and that was incredibly boring. His first year was awesome as a rookie because he was not prepared to play in the National Football League as the first overall pick. And they had Fisher. Jeff Fisher was the head coach, and it was a mess, and it was fun. And then this will be his third time. Other narratives to watch. Dan Campbell has been at Hard Knocks as a tight ends coach for the Miami Dolphins back when they were on Hard Knocks with head coach Joe Philbin. Other returning members of Hard Knocks will include Jason Kabinda. Jason Kabinda, now the fullback with the Detroit Lions, was the linebacker for the Raiders. He was cut by the Raiders and then immediately signed as play linebacker with the Lions. He was an okay linebacker, but he ended up playing fullback with Matt Patricia, and now him and Dan Campbell love each other. They are Hard Knocks veterans, and I believe Michael Brockers was with the Rams when they were on Hard Knocks. I think that might be it, but there are a bunch of people that this will be their second or third time on Hard Knocks. It's pretty exciting. I can't wait to watch because my favorite team is finally going to get some good press, which is super duper exciting, and something I'm pretty pumped for, to be honest with you. College football preview, we can take care. We can do some college football stuff later. Probably next week, I'm thinking we'll do some fantasy football and help you with your draft. Just some general tips. You might know more than me if you're listening to all of the good shows. There are some good ones I'm going to recommend. They're good podcasts for you to listen to, but it's really easy to figure out. The most interesting thing that happened in college football yesterday, and the biggest controversy, is that the NCAA coaches poll came out. I don't know who was number 1 or top 5, but it's all the same. But someone out there someone out there dropped a vote for Texas. They're not back. They're not. They're not back. In fact, if they are going to be back, they should be back right now because they're going to go to the SEC. That's going to do it. Back and better than ever tomorrow. Hard Knocks recap. Football is right around the corner, kind of.